So I'm gonna talk about a few videos that I watched, and it's kind of misting out here, so I don't know how long I will want to stay out, but I have a nice warm cup, so that should be okay. We'll see. Anyway, these are the videos that I watched yesterday while reading about Native American herbology, and this one was a movie. I was surprised. I didn't expect it was a movie. I thought it would be a documentary about the subject, which is a very important subject, and the movie was actually, although it seemed really homemade, it seemed pretty realistic and disturbingly realistic. Anyway, if you're interested in learning about the subject about child pornography and abduction, I guess, then that would be a good movie to watch, maybe, for you. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I don't know, it's a movie, whatever. Anyway, and then there's this one, Saving Atlantis, which was such a waste of time. Oregon State University. I'll see what I wrote about it. It's half of the coral reefs have vanished in the past 50 years, and that's pretty much all you learn. Coral allow single-cell algae to live inside them. They photosynthesize and provide food for the corals. Bacteria also cover the corals, and many animals live in the coral reef. The skeleton of the coral are like trees of a forest. Honestly, this documentary says little and provides no solid scientific facts to hold my interest. It's mainly just interviews with a bunch of people who love corals. So 95% of the Great Barrier Reef is bleaching. And I mean, to get that little amount of information, I had to watch 75 minutes. That was just garbage. Anyway, but I was reading, so I didn't really care. PlantPure Nation is from the producer of writer of Forks Over Knives. T. Colin Campbell became fed up with the fact that he was doing all this publicly funded research and the people were denied the knowledge. So he wrote a book to get the info out, and you've probably all heard the China study. And well, this is basically, like, he's in this quite a lot, but it's mostly his son. So, I can't remember what his son's name is offhand, but I would have written it down at some point. And, well, I'm going to say that I enjoyed reading the China study, and I don't believe that he analyzed the data accurately. Although I believe in whole foods, plant-based, I don't think... Anyway, I'll get into that later. Anyway, his son and his son's wife did a Jumpstart program where they made whole food, plant-based meals for the test group. And I've read her cookbook before, and she's honestly not that good. So, I don't know. It's pretty basic stuff, though. It's easy to make, so it's probably a lot better than a lot of people are eating. But because they avoid for the Jumpstart program, they avoided the unhealthy oils and sugar, right? And if you're going to avoid sugar and unhealthy oils in any diet, you're going to be better off for it. So, everyone's LDL and triglycerides went down. They didn't give them sugar and healthy oils. There are too many case studies in this. I am not sold by testimonials and gentle guitar music in the background. Only US and New Zealand allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise directly to the public on TV commercials. I swear that I've seen these commercials, though, but it could be that we watch a lot of American television here in Canada. So for Jumpstart, they had a new meal each time, so no meals were repeated. Therefore, people could easily see how much variety they could have in their vegan diets. A pastor is talking about the importance of food choices in his church sermon. I'm afraid that a lot of people enter veganism as a religious conversion. 23 million people in America live in food deserts. They only have processed food available. The family farm is nearly extinct in America. 1/5 of the recipients got 9/10 of the cash in a 15-year period ending in 2010. The government handed out $161 billion in direct subsidy payments to farmers, and most went to few. And 2/3 of the farmers got nothing. The federal government subsidizes 4 main grains: corn, soybeans, wheat, and rice, and these crops figure heavily in the processed foods that we eat. Corn and soybeans are fed mostly to animals. Farmers markets spring up in the middle of food deserts. Here's a quote: America's built on independence, entrepreneurship, and all that. If we keep that in place, we can still stay a leader in the world in some things. If you start getting rid of all small farmers, small businesses, those kinds, you don't support them, then eventually it's just going to be one big, large corporation. Everybody's subject to its fallacy. And I believe that's true. Okay, so the young guy's, well, he's like probably my age or whatever. His name is Nelson Campbell, the son, and he was the most featured in this. And he came up with the name PlantPure for his little trial where he and his wife would have come up with the recipes, where they were feeding a bunch of people and testing their cholesterol and triglyceride levels. And they only did it over 10 days, which makes me think, well, that's not enough time to really do anything. I mean, people have done ketogenic diets and had awesome results over short periods of time. And then over the long period, though, it's not healthy. So 10 days doesn't give me enough. I mean, I guess it gives people an idea that, oh, I can eat whole food, plant-based, and it's not going to taste disgusting. Maybe that's all it does. But anyway, so, but the name PlantPure bothers me a lot. I mean, I was shaken in my skin watching that. Because it reminds me of some name Nazis would come up with, if you think about it. And keep in mind that Hitler was a pescatarian. And there was, at that time in history, and before, as we were learning with reading about the Nietzsche stuff, there was a big movement for vegetarianism and stuff like that, and it's happening again. And so he gave this big speech in this auditorium full of people, and I'm going to give you quotes from it. God only knows how many lives could have been saved had these truths about improving the health of our people not been suppressed for nearly a half a century. Suppression of truth to please lobbyists for billion-dollar corporations is a device used by dictators, not by virtuous American leaders. Their amendment lost 44 votes nay and 34 yay. So they said the politicians will follow voters, which I don't know. Anyway, so there's this big speech, and we have an exciting vision to share, the vision of a PlantPure Nation. In this PlantPure Nation, our kids grow up full of health and life. In this nation, we age gracefully, not wasting away in illness and in nursing homes. And in this nation, the small family farmer once again becomes the foundation of our system of food production and distribution. And in this PlantPure Nation, we no longer raise billions of animals for slaughter in inhumane conditions behind the public eye. And in this PlantPure Nation, we help to restore the world's climate, rainforests, and topsoil. This is a PlantPure Nation, he says. And honestly, I am for whole foods. I am not for anybody getting on some religious pulpit and dictating what other people's diets should be. If you want to eat a little bit of meat with your whole food, plant-based diet, then I think that should be fine. It shouldn't be up to somebody else to try to push it on you. And I think this is where things are going. I'm not liking the I guess the political state of things right now. I find it very uncomfortable because I can see where it's heading, and anybody with any sense can see where it's heading.